Good morning from the heart of New York City. This is Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast dedicated to one thing: to learn and apply to eat better daily. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist, your personal health and wellness coach, your fellow biohacker, and just someone with a lot of passion for healthy eating, nutrition, healthy food, and feeling your best, looking your best, and performing your best on all levels. And all that is possible through the power of nutrition, through the power of choosing the best foods that work for your benefits instead of robbing you of energy and performance and giving you all kind of negative emotions. So eating healthy is very important. We all know that, right? But a lot of times it gets really confusing. What is healthy? What is unhealthy? A Kellogg cereal on the shelf says it's healthy too, and it promotes healthy digestion and heart health and all kinds of stuff, So healthy means very little these days, actually. A lot of foods, a lot of brands claim they're healthy when they're not. So you gotta start learning how to navigate this modern world and choosing healthy foods without relying on all those marketing messages and relying on the truthfulness of producers of food whose first and foremost purpose and goal is to make profits, not necessarily to keep you healthy. So today's is about navigating this complicated world of quote-unquote healthy foods, because nobody really knows anymore what is healthy and what is unhealthy. But you want to be sure that most of your food is minimally or non-processed, that most of your food is whole foods, good quality whole foods, fruits, veggies, different kinds of animal products, something that was once alive and growing or alive and running around. If most of your food, if 19% of your food is like that, then you're going to be feeling and doing really well. But how, for example, to distinguish between processed food and unprocessed food? It's also very gray area. What is processed? What is unprocessed? We all know that the more unprocessed or minimally processed food we have in our diet, the more whole foods we have in our diet, the better we're going to feel and the better our health is going to be, and mental and physical performance. So 3 rules to help you to choose the right kinds of foods, the healthy foods, the minimally processed foods. So first, you want to understand that there is mechanical processing and chemical processing. Mechanical means, you had almonds and you chop them up. This is mechanical processing. It's still processed, but it's minimally processed. Those are still almonds, but they're probably going to have shorter shelf life compared to whole almonds, right? It's still a little bit processed. Even cooking, even steaming your broccoli is still processing, but it's different kinds of processing. That's what I call mechanical processing, when you don't add any kind of chemicals or preservatives into the processing process. And of course, for example, if you grill something till it's black or you over fry something, that's also not going to be healthy. So minimally processed is still the key word. But you want to always make sure that your food is preferably mechanically processed. So for example, if you take wild salmon, yes, it was fished out, taken out of the water, and it was cut in pieces probably and put in some kind of package, frozen or fresh, and you get it. It's still processed, but it's mechanically processed. It's still the same kind of food. It's still whole foods, and it's still really healthy. It just not in the state that you will find it in the wild. So mechanically processed without chemicals, without additives, that it can be packaged again like whole almonds, like almonds cut in pieces, but it it gotta have no preservatives and additives. And that leads us to rule number 2 of choosing the best unprocessed foods. And the rule number 2 is don't buy foods that have on their ingredient list, on the packaging, ingredients that you wouldn't buy for cooking, that you wouldn't find in your own kitchen. Like, for example, if there is salt added, or some spices and herbs, or some good quality oils like olive oil or coconut oil, or citric acid, like lemon juice, lime juice, it's okay to buy those foods. They're still probably healthy if they don't have all the ingredients that you can't pronounce, that you don't understand what they mean, that they just don't sound like they belong to any kitchen, that you wouldn't find them unless you have a food company or food lab, right? So try to avoid those foods that have the ingredients that you wouldn't buy for your own kitchen to cook. So this is rule number 2. And if you're not sure, just don't buy that food. That's like the best rule. If you're not sure about some ingredient, if you don't understand it, really don't buy it. Or Google it on the spot. Do a little research and understand at least what it is in your food, because that might be actually killing you slowly, one step at a time, but that might be the case. And rule number 3 is buying more whole foods, minimally processed foods, because even healthy foods can be heavily processed. Like, for example, let's take olives and olive oil. Well, olive oil is actually not probably the best example, because olive oil is minimally processed. And what I mean by minimally processed, it's extra virgin olive oil. They take the olives, they press them, and that's how the oil comes out of olives. That is minimally processed, but it's still processed food. So if you have a choice between olives and olive oil, always go for whole foods, because in whole package there is everything preserved, and nature, through millions of years of evolution, somehow figure out better how to make those whole packages of nutrients that serve your health and your energy levels and your mental and physical performance better. So, for example, if you're choosing between avocado and avocado oil, or coconut fruit or coconut nut and coconut oil, of course go for whole foods. It's really simple. Fish oil or fatty fish, of course fatty fish. So always go, even with healthy foods, try to choose the minimally processed foods. Not almond butter, but almonds, not walnut butter, but walnuts, not some kind of juices and green juices, but eat your greens, as much as possible. And yeah, you can add on top of that maybe some green juice here and there, but still eat your greens. So to recap, how to navigate this world of processed, unprocessed, healthy, unhealthy food. Rule number 1, you want to choose mechanically processed food as much as possible, meaning no ingredients added, just maybe food was packaged, was chopped in pieces for better eating, maybe it was dried. So mechanical processing over chemical processing, where they add additives and preservatives, is always better. Rule number 2, don't buy foods that on ingredient list have the ingredients that you don't know what they are, that you don't know how to pronounce, that belong to food lab, and you will not buy for your kitchen, you will not find in your kitchen. And rule number 3, healthy foods can also be heavily processed, like oils, instead of nuts and seeds, and other kinds of, the market is overflowing with healthy processed foods that a lot of times actually end up being junky too. So always go for whole foods. Olives over olive oil, avocados over avocado oil, walnuts and almonds instead of walnut butter and almond butter. And if 90% of your food follows these rules, then you're gonna be feeling, looking, and performing amazing on all levels. So if you have more questions about processed, unprocessed, healthy, unhealthy food, if you need some advice about healthy eating, about adding more nutrition to your meals, about fat loss, about weight loss through healthy eating and healthy diet made simple, don't hesitate, shoot me email to Angela@createyourself.today, Angela@createyourself.today. And till next time, guys, I love you all. I wish you a lot of healthy food. And yes, eat healthy daily.